traditionally the gateway to South China. Hong Kong is a Chinese name and means island of fragrant water. Once a port of old Cathay filled with dreaded pirates, it is now a great manufacturing and shipping metropolis for world trade. For over 100 years, Hong Kong has imported and exported by sea. Day and night, the five-star ferry comes and goes between Kowloon and Hong Kong, providing cross-harbor transportation for communities tied to the tradition of trade by water. Junk sails are made of bamboo matting from the cities of South China. There are few docks in Hong Kong, therefore these junks load and unload cargo from ocean-going freighters anchored in the harbor. In contrast, a passenger liner comes from San Francisco, bringing Americans to the Orient. These jumbo junks unload cargo and supply provisions for the big liners. Many Chinese families live in small boats called sampans. They come out and bob along to greet the passengers. The boys dive for pennies, nickels, and quarters. With swooping nets, sampan families like to catch passenger souvenirs, oranges, and other foods, as well as old clothing. The baby rides along on his mother's back. Someday he will grow up and sail his own sampan. Because Hong Kong is a free port with few taxes, ships from all bring merchandise to trade. From Denmark come diesel engines and porcelain dishes in trade for bamboo and rattan furniture. From Holland come electron microscopes. England supplies the colony with automobiles in exchange for spices and tea. Japan trades textiles and transistor radios for scrap iron and steel. The geography of the Hong Kong colony consists basically of three areas: Hong Kong Island, the Kowloon Peninsula, and the New Territories. The communist border lies only 22 miles to the north. There, a lonely communist soldier stands guard all day. Beyond the green hills lies China, a country with a population of over 650 million people. Alongside the border lie the New Territories. The British leased this land from China in 1898 for 99 years. Today, industry moves north into the New Territories, yet the Chinese people still retain the heritage of century-old customs. Hong Kong has been a British Crown colony since 1841 and is administered by a governor representing Queen Elizabeth II of England. Most of the population of the colony and across the harbor on the north shore of Hong Kong Island. Hong Kong's population can be compared in size to Los Angeles, but its 3 million Chinese and only 30,000 Europeans are all compressed into an area of miles. Comparative freedom and security of the prosperous British colony. The Hong Kong-Shanghai Bank, a symbol of this prosperity, was founded back in the days of pirates and opium barons. Right next door is the Communist Bank of Red China. It earns $300 million in foreign exchange each year because Hong Kong is a free port used by all nations. 1 block away from the Communist Bank and right in the center of downtown Hong Kong are the British Cricket Club grounds. Mr. John Fish, senior partner with the firm of Butterfield and Swire, is playing a shot. Cricket has been played on these grounds since 1880 and symbolizes the spirit of British fair play for all. Is Hong Kong a safe city? It doesn't take long to form a high opinion of the city's law enforcement body. Mr. John Turner, Chief of Intelligence, exemplifies the type of man on the Hong Kong police force. His major problem in the city is the control of narcotics. He heads a police force of 600 detectives that has steadily reduced crime and the power of the dreaded Chinese secret societies. The British brought good administration and a gracious way of living, typified by these homes and apartments on Victoria Peak. The Chinese refer to living on the peak as touching the sky magnificently. Before the war, the peak was the exclusive citadel of British aristocrats. Today, wealthy Chinese business tycoons share in its living and even own some of the large apartment houses. Americans are also attracted to Hong Kong because of its way of living and opportunities for business. Harold Smith sells American chemicals in the Orient. Mark Broyles exports brass to the States. Larry Kukuli exports wood handicrafts. Bob Newton and his two sons build boats. Their consulate in Hong Kong plays an important role in aiding Americans who do business in the Orient. It replaces 10 to 12 consulates formerly scattered over China. The staff of 175 civil servants plus 5 Marines, along with the American 7th Fleet, serve to do 3 important jobs. First, American foreign policy is explained and translated into Chinese languages. Second, visas are granted for the Hong Kong Chinese going to the United States for business or study. And third, a big window is provided for America to look into communist China. And just outside the territorial Hong Kong waters are communist gunboats. Big billboards supplied by the Beiping government portray the good life of happy, well-fed peasants in the rice fields. "75% of the colony's food staples, including meat, comes across the border from China every morning by train. The colony supplies all its own fish, as well as generous surpluses for export to Red China. Many Chinese families have escaped in these fishing junks to Hong Kong. To raise the $45 passage money, they sold their lifelong possessions in China. Now, the British authorities estimate more than 50,000 refugees are smuggled into Hong Kong each year by sea. It is difficult to stop.